guys, my name's Caitlin, and I am on a journey to explore the nature of happiness through the application and study of my yoga practice, so I may possibly integrate that into my life as a mother, so I can hopefully be the best person I can be and give my children the best model of what being human looks like. That being said, welcome to my kitchen. I just got done working out. This space in my house is literally the vortex, the power spot of my home. It's where I do all of my cooking, the nourishing of my body and the bodies of my family members. It's where I do my workouts every day. It's where I do my writing every day while I watch my kids play. So here I am. Welcome to my power spot. Today what I want to talk about is being in a rut and what that's like. I think we can all identify with that feeling of being in a space in your life in which we've fallen into an apathetic groove or a depressive state of being in which life feels a little bit stale and we become a little bit indecisive about what we're doing with our life and why we're doing the things that we're doing. So I was in that space the last couple weeks. I was kind of rethinking what I all about and what I'm doing with this blog, and I had an inner self-critic talking to me about do I even have a right to try and do what I'm trying to do right now? And I decided, instead of listening to that inner critic, I decided to experience that rut that I was in through the lens of my yoga practice to see if I might learn or glean any wisdom that could be useful to share. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I learned from being in my rut and how I ended up getting out of it. The first thing that I learned is that when we notice we're in a rut and then when we decide that we want to get out of it, our initial instinct is you want to climb up and out. You kind of want to force yourself out. But I think a more productive and sustainable way of pulling yourself out of a rut is actually to counter-instinctively dig into the rut so that we may root down into the rut, grow a pillar of strength that can help us rise out of the rut, as if we're a plant, rooting in to rise up. Usually, we find ourselves in a rut because there's something in our life that is not working, that is not sustainable. Maybe we're overtaxing ourselves, or maybe there's something in our life that we need to look at and perhaps release or repurpose into something else. So the first question that you need to ask yourself when you're in a rut is there anything in my life that I'm trying to force? Any relationships or work that you're doing or new habit or routine that you're trying to pick up that just doesn't feel right? Are you forcing it? You want to do things that give you energy. And if you're trying to force something in your life that's taking energy away from you, that leaves you feeling depleted, take a look at that. And maybe that can help, if you release that can help lighten your load, that can help you rise up out of that rut. Moving on, another thing that you might want to look at if you're in a rut, number one, if there's anything that's not sustainable for you. Number two, do you need rest? Do you need nurturing? I think in this culture, it's that this Western ambition-driven society that I am in, I think we have a tendency to not listen to ourselves when we're tired. There's a go, go, go mentality, and it's harder to listen to that subtle voice inside of you that's telling you that you need to rest, and so all of a sudden, we just kind of crash, and then we fall into that apathetic groove, that depressive state in which we start questioning what we're doing and we lose motivation. So there it is. When you find yourself in a rut, it's an opportunity to dig in to the rut and look at it and look at your life and learn something from what works for you and what doesn't. And more often than not, it is a chance for you to give yourself a little bit of forgiveness and rest. So I have 11 tips right now that I'm going to try and share with you very quickly on what you can do when you find yourself in a rut and you're ready to get out. The first tip is to actually ask yourself, do I want out of this rut? Because your desire to get out of the rut has got to be stronger than the pull of the rut. Your desire to get up out of bed every day to do something that energizes and motivates you has to be stronger than the comfort of the warmth and cozy feeling of being in bed. So ask yourself, seriously, do I want out of this rut? And if the answer is yes, then we can move on to step number 2. Number 2 is start small and be gentle. Don't force anything. Once again, if you force something, you're moving with your mind and not with your heart. So the best way out of a rut is to tap into your heart space. And in order to do that, you've got to slow down. You got to be gentle with yourself and forgive yourself. Notice your rut. Notice what it feels like to be in that space. Feel it. The best way you can grow as a person and empower yourself is to meet yourself exactly where you are and feel that space. Let yourself feel it, even if it's uncomfortable and it feels stale. Feel what it feels like to be stale. And then once you feel that, you can ask yourself, do I want to be here or do I want to take any other steps to move on? Step number 3 is simply hold on. Once again, don't force yourself. This too shall pass. It really will, because the nature of the material world is that nothing is constant. Everything has phases. So forgive yourself and hold on. I promise this too shall pass. Step number 4 is to celebrate small victories. Put your attention on the positive things that you're doing for yourself, as subtle and seemingly simple as they may be. If you go outside to just breathe fresh air, my dog's about to bark, just so you know. We might hear in a second. He's looking out the window, and he likes to bark at other people and dogs that walk by. Anyways, if you go outside to breathe fresh air, notice that and celebrate it. If you decide to allow yourself to fall asleep one night instead of having screen time, notice that and celebrate that. If you take a moment of silence to simply listen to yourself, celebrate that. So any small moment that you decide to do something good for yourself, notice it. Put your attention on it and celebrate it, and be grateful that you can do nice things for yourself. Number 5 is to do something kind for somebody else. I think that's a really powerful way to pull yourself out of a stale state of depression or lack of motivation, is to realize that we're all in this together. We're all of us on this earth. We all know what it's like to feel pain, to feel sadness, to feel fear, insecurity, suffering. None of us gets out of this life unscathed by suffering. So when we can look around us and realize that we all have our own stories, and when you can come from that place of compassion within your heart to reach out to somebody else, that connection that you make with that person that you're reaching out to help, that can be like a rope that can pull you out. Human connection is like a life support. So just keep your eyes open for any opportunities that you can reach out a helping hand, and that can really offer some healing energy within yourself to help you rise and grow out of your rut. Number 6 is to make an appointment to do something positive for yourself. This could look like anything according to what's appropriate for you, but make an appointment that's aligned with your values, whether it is to go get a massage or make a coffee date with somebody or to buy concert tickets for music that you really love. Do that for yourself. write it down in your calendar and look forward to it. It feels good to have something positive that you can look forward to. Number 7 is to take a moment of presence daily. Doesn't have to be much. 2 to 5 minutes of journaling, breathing, or meditating. Anything that can pull you into the present moment. Do this every day and be consistent with it, because once again, that will help you tap into the heart space to help you feel yourself and meet yourself right where you are. And it's that will help you root down in the present moment and rise out. Number 8 is talk to a friend. Once again, that human connection can be that rope that will pull you out. You don't even have to talk about your troubles or your fear, your insecurity, or your suffering. You can just talk about the weather. It doesn't matter. Look somebody in the eye, see them, allow yourself to feel seen, and you will walk away from that interaction feeling loads better. Number 9 is do something that inspires you. Anything that gives you energy. Look at a piece of art that you find beautiful. Read a biography of somebody that you find inspiring. Take a walk around the neighborhood and watch the flowers begin to bloom and blossom. Anything that inspires you can kindle a little fire of motivation within you. So allow yourself to feel inspired and seek out those experiences that inspire you. And number 10, I said I had 11 steps, but I just have 10, so I'm going to end it here. Number 10 is give it time. Just like I said before with step number 3, hold on. Once again, just don't force it. Be here now. Meet yourself here now. Feel it. And know that this too shall pass. Because if you try to force yourself out of this rut you're in by doing something, I don't know, extreme, you might feel unsupported, and then you'll fall right back into that rut. So support yourself, forgive yourself, feel compassion for your state. You are not lazy. I was going to say the F word, but I'm not going to. You're not lazy. I think lazy is an outdated term. I think there's a lot that we can look at when we feel lazy. We can really lean into our experience and glean what's working for ourselves and what's not. And it's an opportunity to sit with ourselves and learn more about ourselves. So don't get down on yourself. Just give it time, and this too shall pass. I promise. It did for me, and now I'm here back on YouTube telling you about what I've learned. So love yourself, and I love you. I'm going to conclude this by saying we have inner power to transform apathy. Use those 10 steps that I just gave you. We have this inner power to transform this sense of lethargy into wisdom and compassion if we can be present with it. If we can root down into the present moment, we can elevate our state of being. So this is all about rooting into your situation as it is right now with love and compassion. Hold on, this too shall pass. Notice the small moments in your life that fuel you, give you energy, and give you joy. Celebrate those, and then just go back to holding on. And I'm posting this with a lot of love and a lot of understanding, and I'm here too. Have a great day. Thank you for listening.